Hello.
Coach K, what's going on? How are you?
I am good. How are you, Dr. Nakumbi?
I'm well. It's been a minute. Seems like months.
I know
That
it does feel that
holiday
way.
and a day or two miss is like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I
you're looking
know.
good, and
You
life is
also?
treating you well. Oh, girl, this is makeup.
That's,
No, thank you, thank you. Um,
yeah.
how's your
But yeah,
family?
life's treating me well.
Good.
Pretty
Thanksgiving went well.
good.
If you celebrate.
Yeah, it was good. Family is it's always good to see family. Like it to be kind of chill, don't really have to travel or anything, which is nice. How about you?
It went well. I house hopped. So friend to friend to friend, family. The thing is,
Oh,
when
good.
people want to give you all the food, like take this with you, I take a few bites and this is live. I take a few bites and take the rest with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I house hopped, so it was fun because at the end you just get to walk away, no dishes to wash, no cleaning up, just boom. So it was smooth. It was a good day. It was a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
All
That's
right.
good though.
Yeah.
Everything else
Yeah.
good though in your world, huh?
Oh, you got to make it good. It's actually been there've been some major changes, but I'm learning to pivot or repivot and manage it. Um, Not canceled. I won't go as far as saying I've been canceled, but involved in
Oh,
involved in
the Facebook
work
thing.
politics.
Oh.
Facebook. Well, Facebook was hacked. So
Mhm.
Facebook's way of saying we want to support you is to just disable the account.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
but I found out because that was my business page and a lot of money poured into it to get to my 30,000, like sponsoring my ads and all that business. So anyone that's been disabled from your Facebook account, you can write the Attorney General in California because that's where they're based, so their home state. And especially if you pay for sponsor, if you pay for ads, if you pay for anything, invest any money, if you sell items and it's interrupting your business flow, write to the Attorney General in California for Facebook, and that's considered a business thing because there's no way to contact them. Like there's no phone person, there's no live person. I mean, there's live people who work there, but you can send a million emails, no responses. I'm like, it was out of my control, hacked. I have my credit card
Right.
company sending me these things. Did you do $500 worth of business in one night on Facebook? I'm like, no. So I have proof. Then they start doing weird things to my account. I'm like, why? I was just putting up inspirational stuff. Why?
Right,
But
right.
if you have 30,000, if I'm pushing a fake, if I'm pushing something where potentially one person of yours might buy of mine or get their money, and now you have 30,000 options. So I was like, oh, I guess. But anyway, make a long story short, I'm working on getting that back through the Attorney General in California.
Interesting.
Work
Interesting.
stuff,
Mm.
it's real. I'm a I don't mean it in a bragging way. Let's just keep it real. I'm the only black psychologist at the job. Uh, Black, male, speak my mind. And these days, it's a dangerous. In any day, really, it's a dangerous thing. I never saw it that way, but these uh,
Now.
these things where, like I said, I was helping sisters to keep their job, anxious to be careful with the so and so and so and so. That was a problem. Like, what are you making to be a
Mhm.
problem? But so I'm working on that. But being part of that process, it's like, wow, it's real. And they had some clients who turned me down. Oh, we saw you on YouTube, and you have a different energy, which is true. I show up here differently than I do with my clients. But I mean, the work is real, just the energy. I'm like, oh, okay. How did you know about my YouTube? So that's part of the reason for this conversation, because I didn't go berserk, but it hit me. It hit, and the Seds, Mr. and Mrs. Seds did a show the other day. Oh, I I even saved this clip. They have a clip on there they played where this woman is saying men are going through it, and it has some like sad music in the background. I'm like, yes. And
But
it was this
rightly
mix.
though.
Yeah, it was this mix between uh, hurt, anger, but then this trifecta thing, which I want to talk about tonight, played through my mind of, you know that game Whack-A-Mole? You know that game?
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
like a real live Whack-A-Mole experience. And I'm not people who truly understand those who are getting what they call canceled, those who are, also I was called misogynistic, um, which misogynistic means you don't like women.
Right.
So not just that you leave the home or patriarchal
Patriarchal,
patriotic.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
got
word. Thank you. It doesn't mean just that. It means also that you don't like women.
right.
That's the furthest from the truth for me. But
Words
I
have
am a
meaning.
right. But I am a uh, in a relationship. I am a manly man or whatever they call it. Though I want
Right.
to say traditional, but anyway. That being
Right.
said,
Right.
my other challenge and how it relates to the show, and we'll give shout outs here in a second. We just jumped right into the conversation. Sorry.
No, it's real though.
Um, so Facebook, I'm part of a group, and I was just talking to JT. I think it was JT or oh, just a second, Freezy, Freezy
Yeah.
on his channel. I was just saying about how I'm in this Facebook group as a mod for BDSM and polyamorous relationships.
Right.
Now, I've been
Right.
a mod in this group for maybe since 2008. And one of the ongoing arguments forever, debates,
Hmm.
if you're in a picture of V, so you're in a relationship where it's three people, you're down here. These two people who also date you, do they have sexual relations? So if you have a closed triangle, that means all of you are, you're romantic together, whatever. When you put the letters down, if it's a male, if it's two males and a female, then you put M, F for female, and M if these two males are not involved. So M, F, M, or F, M, F, or whatever your combination is. If these two are romantic, then it's F, M, M, or M, F, F. And I know that sounds like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I know it's
That's a
alphabet
math
soup, right?
equation.
Yes. But forever, one of the arguments has been if you have a one penis policy. So if it's female, male, female, but it's called an open relationship, that
Hmm.
means this female can do some stuff over here, and this female can do stuff over here. But if you have a one penis policy, you say, no, this is closed. This is closed. I can have as I want, but yours,
Mm-hmm.
you only belong to me and you only belong to me. So that's closed. And then if you have a situation where it's a female, male, female, but these two are together, there's always been debate that this guy believes he should be able to sex either one of them. And that's not always the case. If that's her girlfriend, but not necessarily your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why gender played the race forever in the day is because, again, can I have sex with your girlfriend? Are these two romantic? And then in the male, female, male, the question is always has been, how come no guys are willing to say that they're in one of these dynamics? And what do you think the argument is? Why do you think guys wouldn't want, or why they wouldn't want to be in it, or why they wouldn't agree to it? Why do you think that is?
Because they'd be labeled that the G word.
Yep, they'll be labeled that or bi or one of those. So forever in
Mm-hmm.
a day, there's been debates from the women. Why can't dudes do it without thinking that you have to be? And as a mod, and even as a mentor, forever, I would talk to guys to say, this is doable. Let me ask you this. You ever have a woman cheat on you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Were you dating the other guy she was cheating? No, I didn't even know him. Then guess what? You had a male, female, male relationship.
Right,
You just didn't
right.
know it. But the point is, that whole thing, the G word or the B word, has always been a factor. All that to say, a few weeks ago, someone asked, and when you're in groups for a long time, you see these waves where it's an old question but new to this group, old question but new to this group, and the
Right.
question of, hey, but they had these different Z's I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I can help answer this over here for you. And I
Right.
did my MFM Z, and this entire crew, all the members, boom. How
Dog
dare
pile.
you? A female is not a you name a woman a male. Now,
Yeah. Right, right.
that's my jam. But I
Right,
couldn't
right.
believe an entire group, and then I'm a mod, but they're administrators said we've put people out for less. Put people out of what? The group. The group that I was in before, probably before you were born, but before you got in the group, you're gonna put me out for. Now I don't know what your experience is with me, Coach K, but and I can't see beyond the tip of my nose. I like to think when I'm wrong, I'll own it. I like to think, for the most part, I try to be fair, reasonable, right down the middle. For the most part,
Mhm.
during these conversations, I never charge back. Oh, if you know a better way of saying it, please tell me. First of all, don't call a female. She could be a pig. That's a person. That's the thing with body parts. I am intentionally talking about a female with those particular body parts. And the problem is, you see her for less than, you're a misogynistic. I am. I am a manly man. And so I say all that to say,
Gosh.
when you have that boom, 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 and then the administrator who said, you don't talk back to us. I'm sorry, say that again. Yeah. You should have been quiet and just listen and take feedback. You don't talk back to us. Mhm. Now, I have an ego. We all do. But I thought the audacity. What? This person doesn't know me from Adam. They admittedly told me they were 22. Why they told me that? Oh, because I said how long I was in the group. And they're like, I'm 22 hours, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Telling. That's
Yeah.
very telling.
But when you put all this together, there are so many people out there in which the cover of the thumbnail cover that guy. And the topic tonight is not to defend him or to even process his stuff like for him. but process the fact that people don't realize that you cannot heal, excuse me, cannot cure psychological trauma. And the reason I say that is because one, there's research already. If you do a scan of the brain, those images where you see one side is blue and the other side is whatever, and they come back 10 years later and that section is still blue or damaged, you
Mm-hmm.
can heal, you can put it in remission, you could, all kind of things you can do. You don't live the trauma. You're not a walking trauma. You are not the trauma. But when the stimuli hits, because part of trauma is an emotion, and part of feeling safety is part of trauma, or feeling unsafe is a traumatic episode. Our bodies, our entire body is built for defense. I This protects the eye, this and this protects and the skin protects the nose hairs. Everything's built for defense. Ribs protect our entire body is built for defense to prevent us from going into shock. The trauma memory is busted up. And just imagine sprinkles in the water, whatever you want to call it. The stuff is going all over. Not literally, but it's in different pockets of the brain. It shows up at different times. I can have something happy or good happen, and it could still be a traumatic episode. We can throw, I'm not sure if I shared this with you before. I can throw a birthday party. The BMU network can surprise, actually, BMU just had a birthday. We can surprise you for your birthday. You're like, oh my gosh, you guys. My little devil horn's like, haha, we got it. It was successful. BMU, we throw him a surprise birthday party. Ha ha, we got him. Even if we had to lie, trick, to get him to the place. And let's say Lady Navoa, she shows up, surprise, got her. Now notice, no one did a birthday party, and I didn't ask. One day, one of you good-hearted people find out my birthday, and you surprise me. And Lady Navoa is part of oh, you got to come over to the thing and be at the. I'm none the wiser because I think you don't know. Make a long story short, I show up, surprise. Now, as good as that should be, as fun as that should be, I'm actually pissed. Which one of you motherfuckers lied to me? First of all, who knew it was my birthday? Coach K, you said, oh, one of the times I went through your records. So now I feel violated.
Right.
BMU is part of the thing. I feel now I'm suspicious. Like, dude, I thought, and Lady Navoa, you. So now instead of being excited, I'm hot. Now, hint, hint. Did you watch that video by chance? Any of the clips?
I did.
Okay. So I'm hot. And so Campbell, we'll get a little bit into the story because some people say it's a fake video, it's a fake clip, or whatever he was doing for numbers and all that. I'm taking the idea. So let me put a pin in it right there and pause so we can do some station identification and some hellos. But I was ready. I was stoked to get into it. And the show is not about me. Like I'm using my oh man, it's real. And in fact, whoa, I see it and it's real. So let's do some hellos, catch up with what's going on in the world.
Sounds good.
Who do we have? What do we have?
We have Quantum Love. She is, I think it's a she, but he or she, whoever. Thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, Quantum Love.
It says, gotta work through
anything
trauma.
Like the picture.
Yeah, I think it's a she.
Oh, sweet like caramel. Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, you're funny. We'll leave you to that. And then we have Mr. He Said, and hello, shout out to Deseds.
Yes, thank you for being here.
We have CBN in the back, of course.
CBN in the background running the operations. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And welcome everyone to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. We're here, Coach K, Dr. Nakumbi. Topic tonight is talking about trauma. What did Quantum say? Something about trauma. Got to work through it. Exactly. And that's one of the points we want to make tonight. Without all the theatrics and long stories, I actually want to get right into not just the impact, but how it pops its ugly head. Just before we do, there are a couple of things going on in the world, Coach K. Parenting stuff. Are you keeping up with all the kids getting T.I. and his son, King? Any of that you keeping up with?
I've been hearing about it.
Okay, so no worries.
I've heard about what he did a year ago or something with, him, in my opinion, being a spoiled brat. But besides that, no, I don't know what the latest is.
Right, okay. Currently, we were talking about it last night here on the network. So if people haven't heard about that, heard it, please catch it. We were the replay. We were talking about it last night. Unapologetic, but JT was running the panel. Mandrell did show up, but JT was running the panel. We had a healthy conversation about the fact that, or the question, are kids just spoiled, not being managed, not being parented, or is it so that's the parents' fault? Wait, is it the parents' fault or the kids' fault? And so I think we were about 50-50. No, we were pretty much all saying the kids' fault. There were a few in the audience. Sugar Bomb saying no. Actually it's 50-50. But what I wanted to mention about it is there's one thing to be a spoiled brat as a kid, and there's one thing to be, to be orderly and structured in your home, and the kid doesn't want to mess up. But these videos have been about adults, 18, 19, 26, that are snapping out on their parents. And so, yes, I think parents, their role as far as what the kids think they can get away with along the path. And then I think there's a flip. At some point, no matter how well you parented them, there's a flip somewhere because of what they've been influenced to do. So we were talking about one of the videos where the person's holding their phone, arguing with their parents, saying, this is a conversation just between you and I, but then like in a gaslighting way of highlighting their parents' part. Y'all hear with this? Okay, so hyping up the parents going off, showing the world how their parent is acting, yelling at. We watched a video not too long ago, a couple months ago, here about fighting the parent. And some of these appear to be legit reasons. I know BMU has talked about his son, he and his son are able to have real authentic conversations, dad, son, but real conversations. And at some point, I was asking Brother Bennett and a few others, at some point, is there a natural transition to go from dad, never mind, dad, penis, dad, the mother, like actually being comfortable and having that exchange to include using curse words, or your daughter, going from innocent to I might have a boyfriend or like someone, but I don't want you upset, to, oh yeah, we were bleep bleep last night. Now some parents engage because you set the parameters that you still know what the respect line is. The youth still knows, I'm not cursing at you, I'm sharing the story. Dad, this shit is fucked up. And we're exchanging versus, yeah, mom and dad, you got me, bleep, bleep, bleep. So where's that line between open communication, talking about anything and everything, and then public humiliation? So just wanted to get your take. What do you think? Is there a line? Whose fault is it? Is it the parents' fault? Is it parenting with consciousness, unconscious, not conscious parenting? Or is it kids being influenced by agendas? And what I mean by agenda is there is an agenda against parents right now. There is an agenda about parents. So what do you think?
I don't know. It's tough because I do think the parents play a very pivotal role in raising a child, obviously. And that's that, because if they weren't, how could we say that the good kids who grow up to be good adults How did that happen? It doesn't just happen out of the blue. Now, of course, there are,
Right.
outliers, whatever. However, I think that when a person is an adult, 18, 19, you cannot continue blaming your parents. Like,
Mhm.
I will give them grace in terms of, okay, they weren't taught these things, but how long does that last? I
Right.
don't know if
Right.
that's kind of like how I see it.
Mhm.
If we're
Yeah. I
talking
mean,
about
there's some
adults, I
homes
don't blame the
when we talk
parents.
about adults, right? There's a kind of a period where it might be okay, not okay. And then I wonder also if you've been raised and conditioned a certain way, and condition might be the key word, that no matter how adult you are, because you'll never pass your
Mhm.
parents. If they're 10 years, 20 years older than you, you'll never pass them.
Mhm.
So that line of respect stays there. And
Right.
maybe this is maybe this does feel like respect because we can. Dad, mom, I get to say what I want to say and be real with you. That might be a form of respect for some people. And so
Right.
I'm not here to say if it is or not, but when you start having public displays, when you start fronting your parents, when you threaten to beat their ass, okay? So I'm working with teenagers who are sitting in a family session saying, we'll talk about it when we get in the car. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna fuck you up. Uh, Two things. One, parent. Okay, never mind. Have you lost your? But then there's as a professional, you know what you can say and what you can't say. So it's like, no. Can we take a break for a second? Yeah, you done lost your rabbit. Parent, can I talk to you? What happened? I feel powerless. Mm. The laws have changed. Mm. I can only do so much. I might hurt them or they might hurt me. Those are legitimate concerns. I don't know, coach, if you're a parent, um, are one of those concerns, which would be what do you think? You may not know it now, but what do you think? Where do you think you would land? Would you, if you have laws saying if you do, you're going to get in trouble? If you have schools and nonprofits and other places saying we support the kid, teenager, we support the young adult,
Right.
so you feel powerless, or do you believe your sweat and tears and raising the kid has earned you whatever you consider to be respect, no matter what those laws and programs and other people say?
Yeah, I would definitely say the latter because now that doesn't mean that I deserve that respect and I can treat my kid however the heck I want, but
Mhm.
just we know enough from history and especially the narratives now. I'm not going to give, you know, the government or these various, nonprofits and whatever agencies the direction to how I'm going to raise my kids, my teens, whatever. And if anything, I am a Christian. So if I'm going to, base my foundation of how I parent, it's going to be on that alone because that does not waver across
Okay.
time. But yeah, heck no, because we know that the law does not equal morality whatsoever.
hmm
So,
hmm Well,
what
they
do
say
you think?
they're from the government and they're here to help, so I believe it.
Mm, that's funny.
Uh, well,
That was as an open to history book, right?
right? Yeah, I take a few things into consideration. As I was telling you,
Yeah.
even now when I'm listening to an adolescent and their parent, I'm talking about a whole life generation, a whole
Hmm.
timeline differently. I have to take that into consideration when I'm doing my sessions. I'm talking about a
Right.
different generation, different mindset. When
For
I was
sure.
raised, even though I had a mom who was with it ruled with an iron fist, my whole fantasy and promise was I'm never going to tell my kids no, and I'm never going to hit them.
Hmm.
Okay. If you ask a few knuckle, excuse me, if you ask a few individuals out there, what was their experience, they may say we didn't have to get hit. It was the look. There used to be a commercial, Vidal Sassoon, or something like that. Is the look you want to know better? So we had a look. Now, did it imply fear? I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Won't be yes. Most likely it did. In fact, when we did family therapy years later, the stories they were telling me, and I'm like, and I hate to use the cliche answer, I didn't know, but I did. I knew I was on some bullshit, but I didn't know it would have the impact that it did.
Right.
So we went shopping for a barbecue. They're carrying the watermelon. We get to the door, and I flinch for my keys, and they drop the watermelon. Here came the look. Folks just frozen. Don't move. Now, in my mind, here comes the bullshit. I went in the house and got a butcher knife.
You saved it.
Let me hurry up and get my piece, because between them trying to pick it up and fuck it, just dip. But I didn't say anything. I came out, shing. They're like, don't move. Whoosh.
Right.
And I went back in the house. 30 minutes, I look out. 30. It's not funny. It's horrible. 30 minutes, I look outside. They're still standing. What the? But it's 10, 15 years later that I'm hearing that scared the bejeebies out of me. I had nightmares. But what?
Wait, because like other people say that about you grabbing the
family? No, these they know I call them knuckleheads. My crew.
Because you grabbed the knife to cut it up, or what?
I didn't know the impact of the look.
Oh, the look. Okay.
Then coming out with the butcher knife. There's no words to go with it. I knew I was on some BS about the let me get my slice, but I'm not going to tell them, because if I said that to my crew, we'd have all like if I said, whoever better, you better get the best piece. We'd all just. So I don't.
Yeah.
Let me pull a fast one. I'm guaranteed to get the best slice.
Right.
And it's 15 years later, we were scared.
Yeah, what do you do with it?
And sometimes, I don't touch the computer while I'm gone. I come home. And I don't know if you ever, like, I've left stuff like right on the, like just on the edge or something. And if it's moved, it's good. So I come home and it's, who,
Interesting.
and when they all line up,
the look.
And there's always one, just like, the hell if I'm going. So anyway, not to make a long story, not to get into it, but
that's a fact.
Parents don't always understand the impact. Now, those sound like horrible stories, and you could tell this is moved, someone's in trouble. Watermelon is dropped, someone is in trouble. Let me give you a positive story. I didn't know, even in a fun, positive story, the impact. I used to be a lot larger. 350 was my max. I was 350. Every year I go visit my mom's grave, and I take a van full of kids, like the cousins, whatever, however many can fit in the van, load them up, let's go. We're going to be gone 2 weeks. I'm the parent while we're gone. We will call when we hit each state line, or when we sleep at night. You will call your parents and let them know you are alive. That's it. We're not calling it. Would you tell him to? I'm the parent.
Right.
Driving, my big tail. And I don't know if you ever fell asleep driving. I wake up, and I look in the rearview mirror. There's the person next to me. You just gonna watch me drive off the road? I thought you knew what you were doing.
That's so true.
there's the guy in the 7th row. And so I pull over like, what's wrong with you? I fell asleep when the ditch. All of it is going to watch. Well, he, and she, and I didn't know that this will scare them. We're going to practice in case I have a heart attack. We get to South Carolina, a bunch of country roads back there. Because I don't let go of the steering wheel while we're still going 50 miles an hour. Now, they didn't know. I didn't know to tell them. My knees were controlling the steering wheel. I didn't think that I had to tell them that, but I'm like,
right, like testing.
Because I wanted them to know what to do. And then we would practice. Someone puts the thing in neutral. Someone make sure the steering wheel, and we practiced enough times to where they got it. But I didn't know. In fact, I even got in trouble by whoever runs 911 because part of the practice, you also had to call 911 to be like, we pulled up. You had to recognize mile markers. We pulled over at da 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 da, and we did live calls like 3 times. And they said, and then I would say, oh, it's just a test. And then I remember getting a letter saying, hey man, you have to practice with some other numbers. Don't be calling us.
Right.
So anyway, I didn't know till 15 years later. And when you pulled off the car, I was 15. Like, what?
It's not funny, but it is.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's still real though. That's a great example.
The last part of that, true story. I was in Best Buy, the store, about 3 months ago. And one of the kids who I took on the trip said, oh my gosh, Doc, I'll never forget that time you told us how to. I mean, a tear came to my like, what? Yo, dumbass, remember? But he was like, you put the thing in the. I was like, what?
Right.
So,
that's crazy. 50
yes.
years.
I didn't know the impact. And when we look at some parents who were impacted in a negative way, who made promises to themselves, they won't say no, they won't beat their child, they won't do this, they won't do that. So what looks like parenting with no awareness is actually parenting with awareness. It is parenting with the awareness that I intentionally make sure that I don't say no to my kid. Mm-hmm. My intention is not to say no. So what looks like idiot parenting, they subscribe to it because it's the promise that they made to themselves when they were younger. And for those who actually keep those promises, now look how you are impacting your kids moving forward. But in their mind, that's a small price to pay. And because it's a traumatic, it's a psychological thought, you can't just yell at them and say, wake the bleep up. What kind of parent are you? That doesn't work. In fact, each time you do that, that's a small victory.
Right.
How do you know, not you specifically, but I remember one time when you said sometimes you could be, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think you said here you could be a brat or kind of push the buttons, right? Okay. How do you know if you were successful in pushing the button or having someone do what you want? How did you know you were successful?
My awareness is telling me, like, are you ever successful? Because I know I shouldn't be a brat when I'm being a brat. But,
right.
But if I wasn't aware, you said if I wasn't aware of that.
Well, I mean, how do you? Well, I don't want to say how you won because it's never to win, but it is to
get a response. Probably
get a response. So,
yes.
Were you successful if you got a response? Not successful in what you did, not that type of success, but did you meet your goal if you got a response?
Yeah, like it, or if I got the last word in.
Right. So when we tell a parent, what the hell are you doing? You're dumb. Believe it or not, as backwards as it sounds, that's a psychological reward. Because, yep, you're just like every parent who raised me, who I should just beat my child, right? Yep, you sound just like, yep, you're traditional. Yep, rah, rah, rah. So it's actually a win for me every time I hear you talk about how stupid I am, how dumb I am, because that means I stuck to my commitment of don't beat them, don't say no, give them space, give them allowance, even if it means going against the masses.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
That
small
kind of
victory.
mindset is like you see that is very prevalent even with people who have different political ideologies or whatever, you know, going at
Mhm.
each other or how one lives their life and like they're not phased. They it almost fuels them to be told,
Yes,
you know, that they're wrong for believing what they believe or whatever.
yes. I feel empowered when I get to tell you, I don't give a damn what you're talking about. You can get mad at me,
Right.
you can do whatever you want to me, and listen to the sacrifice. I swear to God, you do that again and let my kid see what you just did, I'll beat your kid or I'll beat you.
Right,
And
right.
when I say
There,
no, when I defend, when I actually have the audacity to defend my child's recklessness, that is another victory to me, meaning I'm sacrificing taking the beating so my kid can still have allowance and power and say so, voice and choice that I believe that I didn't have.
yep. That's spot
Now
on.
there's another population of parents. So marriages, they say are less, and then the kind of that family idea of getting married and having children. The whole idea of remember having 12 children, 9 children, five matching numbers, two boys, two girls. Those ideas have died down. More and more, well, back then there were, I don't have stats on this. I do not have stats on this. So when I say back then, now I don't know. What I was about to say is back then, the illnesses or whatever, like if there were natural childbirth and you lost the kid, ugh, now you can actually have tests done before the kid is even born to tell you if it's going to have sickle cell, if it's going to have
Oh
this, have that,
yeah.
right?
All
And so you
kinds
get
of
to
stuff.
weigh your options. In fact, even before you get pregnant, you can have certain tests done to see between our uh, genes and all that, what are our chances of X, Y, and Z? This runs in the family X, Y, and Z. So the
Mm-hmm.
awareness of illness is greater than it was then. Okay.
Right.
So, but because of the potential of illness, 1 out of every 4 kids, if you have sickle cell trait and sickle cell anemia, so 1 of the 4 kids will have sickle cell, according to the math and the science.
Mm.
So if we have our kid and they don't have sickle cell, whew, let's stop there. Some might gamble and say, let's go for a second one. But remember, they're trying to beat the odds of 1 out of every 4. That
Mm.
being said, we have the 1 or the 2. And what type of treatment do you think we're going to give those kids that we felt fortunate to have?
Above and beyond.
Above and beyond. They're going to get treated. What is being you say peacock happy or something like that? They're just going to get treated like, and my vision is blurry because these are my gems. These
Mm-hmm.
2 that we were lucky to have that didn't get sickle cell. Now, I'm not saying every parent, I'm saying we're getting more and more and more where parents are either feeling lucky to have the child, as in this parameters, they didn't get the thing. And so that child gets unbelievable hand holding, comfort, the fear of deleting. So when we put that message out there that, oh, people, the kids are going to self delete, they're going to self delete, they self delete. And then there's natural death. So the whole point is death, 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 death. So before I lose my kids, how do you think I'm going to treat them?
In a bubble wrap. Put them in bubble wrap.
Above and beyond, bubble wrap, super protect, they can do no wrong. Of my perception, even though death comes to us all, but with the
Mm-hmm.
increase in belief that if they're not happy, they will delete. And the
Right.
increase in fatherless homes and fathers, usually the identity of the child goes and the strength of the child and all those type of things usually lean into fathers, the nurturing into the mothers. And Again, it's
Okay, it
science.
came back.
People can.
Sorry.
Oh,
It was like
is that frozen?
StreamYard just like cut out for a second. No, you're good.
Oh, okay, okay. Lady Nevo was in the house. Mrs.
Hey,
She says in the house. Dragonfly Jones cousins in the house. Few
hey,
weeks ago,
Dragon.
I said hello to everybody but Dragonfly. I was like, um,
You're so funny.
so the death belief in death has gone. Not the belief. The fear of death has
Yeah.
gone up. So now these children, they get the best of the care, the best of the love, and they can do no wrong. Or my process, because I came from a do as I say and da 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 da, and I was so as we moved forward, I become sensitive and I made promises. I'm not going to do that to my kids. Let's land
Mm-hmm.
that plane. I just wanted to talk about the reality that we do have parents that fall into those categories, and it is psychological. It's not intentional. I don't give a damn. Then there's the lazy ones who have given up on their kids, like they don't parent. And then they're the ones who really don't know what parenting is. Like there was no playbook for them. But I say to those parents, did you need a playbook to have sex? I mean, because if you didn't know how to parent, but you found he found the hole, she found the hole. Yeah, you found each other. Well, that's different. That's different. True. But don't use the excuse about you didn't have the playbook because now you have this child and you need to figure it out. You can take classes, you can learn from aunties, cousins, da 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 da. Now you're responsible. And then those who never planned for a child. I mean, how much sex is going on in the world that people weren't doing it to have a child? They were doing it because it felt good. And the
Right.
positive consequence or the negative consequence, not calling children consequences, what I'm talking about, a consequence as in something that could happen. So before someone says, you called me a consequence, we are all a consequence, positive or not so positive. We are the outcome of what can happen through unprotected sex and protected sex. Believe it or not, not everything's 100%, only abstinence. So there's
That's
some parents
true.
who will
That's 100%.
say that they don't know. Please figure it out because that's not an ignorance to the law. It's not an excuse. Ignorance to parenting is not an excuse. If you are into the parenting thing, parenting awareness, I don't know if you have any suggestions, Coach K, of places people can look into if they want to put energy into it, as far as parenting awareness, consciousness, decisions. And while you think about it, if you do or don't, I want to give I want to give
So
notification
shout out.
about shout out. Thank you. Oh my goodness,
While
Mrs.
you do that,
She
I'm gonna
said,
go out, come back in because my
"Yep,
stream I think is messing up. So I'll go out and come back in. So
you
so
got it."
you do that. I'll be right
Yep.
back.
Mrs. She said, as a right now, conscious parenting. I believe you're here in the audience. If you please, if you will put your link, um, it's a uh, it's it's a drive about being aware of what the kids are watching. If you remember back, if you've been on this channel watching for a while, if you are here tonight and you haven't hit that like button, please do hit the like button. And if you've been here for a while and you've not yet subscribed, please do. Been here for a while, you remember the video about the 9-year-old rapper. Then there's another video of them at school not being able to read it, but the rap they were able to say all kind of stuff about things that they're not should not be doing yet, sex, rock and roll, guns, all that business. So how are these companies, phone companies, devices, how are they allowing for it? Like back in the day, and people say, well, we're not in the back in the day. Fair enough. The limits to what's being allowed have seemed to just they're gone. And if you believe in any stages of life at all, any stages of life, you can actually give something to your kids too soon. You can actually give something to your kids, allow something for your kids, permit something for your kids too soon. So there should be some limits. But anyway, if you are open to it, please do look at the link, and hopefully we'll get it up to where you can join that campaign. They're not asking for money or anything. The campaign says like you can donate, but that's not what the Feds are asking for. Mrs. She said is asking for the companies to be more aware of what those limitations are, what they're allowing for kids to see. So I just put that plug in. Coach K, one more topic, and then we'll get into this anger thing.
Sound good.
I don't know if you're keeping up in the news. A ton of people are being being accused of crimes. Now, a couple of things happened in the last couple of months. Some state laws have expired when you can report. So, sex crimes, even murder used to have a time limit on it.
Like a statute of limitations or something?
Statute of limitations, exactly. Then, of course, they changed a lot of that and said, no, if it's 70 years later, you should be able to report it and hold the people accountable. But a lot of the books still have some other dates for statute of limitations when it comes to accusations of those type of things. New York and a few others on the East Coast, theirs were expiring. So before it expired, it's like catching a summer sale. Before it expires, get in there and get the sale before it ends. Now,
like the accusation.
Right. Get in your complaint, get in your suit. I am not comparing a summer sale to someone's trauma and pain. That is not what I'm talking about. I speak in analogies and metaphors. My analogy is the same way a sale is ending, so get in there. My analogy to that is this statute of limitation is about to kick in. If you feel you've been wronged and you want to address this under this law, you need to act on it now. So the offices got flooded with complaints, and that's why you see now, like, holy buckets, how in the world in a weekend were there 90 complaints filed? Like, what happened? That's one of the reasons. Two, you open the floodgates if you file a complaint and someone responds instantly with paying you out. They pay you out instantly. It's like, whoa. Well, you look at history and someone cannot get criminally charged, but they have a civil case and they've been paying out. Sometimes the public doesn't always hear about that. And so by the time we hear about it, it's like, whoa, they've actually paid off 4 or 5 different people, or the amount that they paid, was it just hush hush moan, or was it hush hush money because please don't talk about it?
Right.
So there are a lot of cases out right now, like I said, that we're meeting the statute of limitations. And there are some significant players in it. So like P. Diddy and a few others who were part of that. And then he happened to be one of the people that paid out. So if you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who've been impacted by it, and you see that one was paid, then others might say, well, not our opportunity for money, but our opportunity to our version of what we call feeling heard. So the public might see that as it was a money grab. That person is saying, yep, but it was my opportunity to feel heard. And then the ones who may not be telling the truth, I mean, it's an injustice for everybody. If it actually happened, it's an injustice that person had to wait year after year after year to finally get the courage to speak to it. It's injustice for the guy who did do it and nothing has happened and he was able to get away with it, or the woman who did it to the guy, or woman to woman, man to man, all the genders across the board. Whoever was the perpetrator, is injustice for them to have not been spoken to about it, to be held accountable for it. So we have 2 injustices. The flip side of that are the people who didn't do it. Now, there's another category because I work with offenders, and I do have a category of offenders who, this look here is like, you don't know if you don't know what happened. We were all using meth. They were using meth and I was using meth. And we were all at a trap house. They got clean and decided to talk about it. But as far as I do have that group of people who, yeah, I do have the group of people who didn't even see it, not excusing them, but I do have the group of people who didn't even see it develop because it wasn't about sex. It was about power and control.
I heard that.
And they didn't even realize how it spilled over into sex. And they don't see like they look down, like they're looking down at like maybe the root of it when they should be looking up here at what happened. Why are you looking? Well, because I don't know what you're talking about, but down here, yeah, but I didn't do that. So I have that group as well. So still injustice because shoots, if you did it, didn't realize it, realized it, didn't realize it, both people at the end of the day, there's someone saying, I don't think I ever really wanted to do that and I never wanted to be there. And then all the way to the people who didn't do it at all. And it is a true money grab. It is a true defame you, break you, crush you.
Right.
And even to the people who are making those reports, shame on them. So it's just injustice across the board.
Yeah.
Okay. And in my opinion. And then again, I work with victims who, yep, I was participating, to the victims who absolutely not. And I work with offenders who like, yeah, all the way to, yeah, I did it. So my response to those who are on either end of the spectrum, please consider the impact that it has moving forward to those who have been impacted. And then please also consider the future moving forward of those who did not do it. There's a group of people that I work with who they didn't know the impact of their trauma and how it would play out on others. The guy who's on our thumbnail, he was actually abused and paraded around in a certain relationship, per reports, in the Bronx, New York. The community knew about it, but that's as far as it goes from my understanding. This person on his own said, yes, it happened to me, and I was doing that as well to others. He openly admitted that he did this to others. Knowingly, not knowing that it was connected, but knowing that it's kind of connected, like, yep, it happened to me and I'm doing it to you. So he admitted this. Many people he hurt. How he caught on, or what, I don't know the pieces about what happened to where he said, this is wrong. I'm only going to mess with adults. So he says he transitioned and he stopped all that once he realized he was hurting people and that he had more say-so and more control. So he stopped. Okay. P. Diddy's case, he heard about, and the person won was the undisclosed amount. So I think she asked for 10 or 18 mil, I think. But the reports are she may have gotten double that. So no one knows the full amount, but in the streets, double that amount. This guy, Hassan, hears about this, triggered. No one listened to me when I talked about my pain. She couldn't even finish a full sentence. Yeah, you did. And you just get paid out. Because of the significance in his mind, he actually then went to the Bronx, New York. He's moved from the project since then. He's moved from there previously, and he's a very successful YouTuber making good money. So he moved out of that community. According to him, he's well known, many, many friends, subscribers, blah, 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 has a following, a posse. He goes back to the Bronx, sets up his computer or whatever, his phone, live streams at 7 a.m., according to this show and other reports, the show of the thumbnail. He is yelling like, this is bull. How come no one listened to me? How come no one protected me? How come, how come, how come? And he's out there yelling this stuff. People are now throwing bottles out the window. Now let's think about this trifecta for a second. Nidus is in the house. What's up, Nidus? Welcome. Thank you for swinging through.
Hey, Nidus.
Think about this trifecta. According to his reports, he was abused.
Right.
Whack-a-mole. According to his reports, he was challenged with this psychological, like, what happened to me? Whack-a-mole. He started doing stuff to kids. Now, even though it seemed like he was gaining something out of it, but once he realized I shouldn't be doing this, whack-a-mole. Oh, that whack-a-mole's got my color. All right, there we go. Sorry, I was fading out.
You came back.
When he admitted, because there are people out there who they've been victimized, or they are advocates for, and they'll take you out. Street justice. They will take you out. So once he admitted, now he's still here to talk about it. So I don't know what his level of street justice was, but still another whack-a-mole. Or if you go to jail, that's the least liked population.
Right.
Right? You can murder someone and still have higher respect from others. Now, I'm not justifying, but what I'm saying is that whack-a-mole, where am I? I'm fading out again, sorry.
I don't know if it's focusing on your hand or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it is. I thought I was on Star Trek or something like, woo.
I don't know what it's doing.
I'll just keep it here. This whack-a-mole. And people listening on the replay, people listening here, Coach K, everyone, I'm trying to tell you the way trauma works. We often forget or dismiss. And check this out. The people throwing the bottles on this guy, the people throwing the bottles, even if they know of his history. Can you imagine the feeling of betrayal? Offended against, betrayal. Not feeling like you're listened to or protected. If you told someone they didn't listen to you, these fingers together. If you told someone they didn't listen to you, it was a family member who set you up, like exchange you for their crack or whatever. Betrayal. The fact that you are now doing something to people, betrayal. And then you are trying your best to be a good person, giving back, giving back, giving back. You're the one dealing with all the pain, but you're giving back and giving back and giving back. You are the ones making sacrifices in your mind because people don't have the internal pain that you have. Now, there's going to be a group of people to say, suck it up, buttercup. It's going to be a group of people who say, yeah, we all have the problem. And there are going to be people to say, you don't live your trauma, you have to keep going. I actually agree with all of those. All those statements and all of those people, I do respectfully agree with you. I wish psychology worked like that. Because when they pull themselves up by the bootstraps, when they forge forward, where do you think those memories and experiences go? Do we really believe that it just magically delicious left our mind? I can pull myself up by the bootstraps. I can survive. I can get my shit together. I can wake the bleep up. I can get out of my pity party. I can change my diapers. Where did that pain go? Where did that experience go? Well, just don't think about it. It's not a joke when I say it. I'm dead serious when it sounds crude. For those who self-soothe, through a product,
Mm-hmm.
this is just a floss thing. But through a product,
Right. Yep. That's right.
just stop. Just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Maybe none of these products, maybe your product is power. Just let it go. For a month, just let your power go.
Mm-hmm.
Control freaks, shouldn't call you a freak. Those who need the perceived feeling of control, just let it go. It doesn't work like that. Never has and never will. Can you submerge it and never think about it, like intentionally be mindful about never thinking about it and live a life so it never pops up? I would like to think so. But since anger is a natural feeling, what is tied to that anger? So Coach K, not you personally, but we were talking about how you worked on not wanting to be a brat anymore. Have you ever found that, I'm just making this up for anybody, if you know of it, this is just an example. I am no longer intentionally a brat towards my partner. But every blue moon, I snap out. And it wasn't intentional, right? It had nothing to do, I wasn't intentional about it, but it mirrored the same behavior as when I was being a brat.
Yes.
Right? Well, that doesn't mean it was trauma. My point is, there's potential for it to show up in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
If you removed those early whack-a-moles, would we actually be tied into the things that we're tied into as much as we are?
Probably not, right?
Those parents who made promises to themselves, would they have made those promises if they did not experience their versions of whack-a-mole? Would they have had a reason to even make those promises to themselves? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. Remember, not all abuse is from something negative. So we also have to take into consideration adverse childhood experiences. So if you take this Hassan guy who didn't feel heard, and now he's out there in his own community. Now he's yelling out that these are his buildings. But Coach K, people have to understand, when you leave an establishment, if you ever worked at a job for years or whatever, and you leave, you might still have some associates there. But go back to your old stomping grounds in high school. I'm talking about like a whole generation later. Now, they were your stomping grounds. If I go back to PS 28 right now, there's not a soul in that building who's going to be like, oh, snap, the kid is here. Not a soul.
Right.
Right? There's some buildings I want to go back to in New York just to like actually knock on the door. Hi, Matt, look in your apartment. Like I used to live here. I just want to see.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like, so what? Like, who are you?
I go back to those projects, 1420 Washington. I mean, just to be able to name call or street names, like that's my claim to fame. Like, yeah. But let me go over there now. And as I was saying on the Freezy show, at best, I might be able to get a few people around me to be like, yeah, this used to be my stomping grounds. I'm like, cool. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed.
Right.
This hour shit now. Like, all right.
Right. What are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah. I might get a brief moment of people like, oh, for real?
Cool.
So if I go there looking for validation,
Yep.
I have to say it again, Coach K, for the people in the back. If I'm looking for validation and live my life based on looking for validation, acknowledgement, to be heard, to be recognized, to be loved, to be cared for, to be nurtured, and I'm making sacrifices to enough people that I would hope common sense, I would hope shit in one hand, hope in another, which feels more real, but I would hope that if I'm giving out, people will give back in. Coach K, if you're my wife, at the beginning of the ceremony, the vows, what do we say? Till death do us part, through sickness and in health.
Mm-hmm.
But if I come from abandonment and you come from whatever, I'm going in. I take me with me. I can move to Alaska. I still take me with me.
Yep.
And I join with you in this relationship. You are joining with someone who has abandonment issues. And these don't magically go away.
They
It
do
does
not.
not work like that. It saddens me sometimes when I'm on different places where people just they believe, and that's cool. I can't force it. I can't be any more right. Doesn't mean I'm any more right than they are. Unfortunately, the experiences that some people have to go through before they realize that it's more to it. And when
Right.
when we become hard in our ways, that doesn't mean we don't have the trauma. It just means the coping strategy that we use the best or the most or that lands. When I stay a hard ass, people don't mess with me. And if I have a history of being abused, being a hard ass, so then I say, I got myself together. You just can't fuck with people. You got to do your own shit. You got to ignore. But listen to what I'm saying. Coach K, what do you take away? You have to just stay to yourself. You just have to leave people alone.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get them before they get you. What do you
Yep.
hear in those three statements? What do you take away with my three statements?
You don't, I mean, you don't trust people, or like something, I guess you could say you're going to be hurt. Is it one of the like validation hurt things?
I mean, well, I don't need to be heard because I'm purposely staying away.
Right. No one, like, I don't see. I feel like this is a trick question. Well, it's not a trick question, but I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
Yeah, but there's not a right or wrong. I mean, just what do you take away? Like, if you were coaching me and I said, "Nah, I'm good," you know what, Coach K? The real secret is just don't fuck with people. Just don't mess with people. Leave people alone. When I don't get attached to people, if I don't get in a relationship, I'm safe. If I don't trust love, I'm good. If I don't get in any type of committed anything, I'm good. As long as I know in the beginning, don't go thinking you can trust these people. So I start the relationship not trusting. So what are you taking away about the quality of life or anything? What are you taking away?
That they will not have people around them because they will not seek relationships. And if they get to that, if there is even one possibly budding, for example, no, they're going to cut it off. So they're going to leave. They're going to self-sabotage. They're going to,
Right.
They're not going to get close to any people. Then they're going to be alone, but then they're going to feel like they're right because people, you
Right.
can't trust them.
Right. So is that that alone is not a crime.
No, it's
In
not.
fact, if you're comfortable and it works for you, keep doing it. Because coach, what you just said to me, do I have to live that way? Do I have to have a bunch of people? Do I have to have a large family? Where's it written that I have to be attached to someone else to be happy? Where's that written?
It's not technically.
I have an Xbox. I mean, I can tune in to when I want anything. When I choose, mic on.
Mhm.
When I'm done, mic off. I am content. I don't have to be connected to anyone. Where is it written that I have to?
It's not, but it's like you feel safe in this moment because it's what or
Mhm,
this circumstance, this is what you
mhm,
know because of the fear of what you could possibly experience. But at the same time, and again, if I was talking to this person, I would
mhm,
say it's neither here nor there for me. It's really neutral from a
mm,
coaching standpoint. But
mhm.
what if is there another way to this? I mean, what
I
also
don't want another way. I'm not even interested in another way. In fact, I'm willing to bet my Bears tickets and my made up person in our made up analogy here. I bet you actually have more fear. The coaching I'm talking to, coach person I'm talking to,
yeah.
I bet that person has more fear of making sure they have enough clients, making sure they have a good enough income, of making sure they're saying the right, like they have happy clients, making sure. See,
Mhm.
there's more fear, more responsibility, more attachment with that coach who's working with me than I have. So why do I have to equal or match what they're saying? Why do I have to have that?
Mm. You don't you definitely don't.
Hmm.
If you're
Now,
good with it,
here's
you
my
know?
right. If you're good with it. My challenge is, where did the thing that launched that person into that thinking,
Right.
where did that go? Because I'm telling this coach, hey, coach, whatever, I appreciate what you're trying to offer me. I appreciate it's not going to happen. I have my Xbox. I'm cool. If that's what you want, I know you have your business to run. I know you like your friends. You need your family. That's you. And I like what you said. You're neutral, like Coach K. You're neutral in that process.
Mhm.
But either one, neutral, have have a stake in the game or not.
Mhm.
There's still some stuff that led this person to that route.
Right.
Religion, parent raising, something that led them to this route. And
Right.
there's something that led this person to this route. Now, there might be some stuff about, yeah, I have to maintain that. I have to maintain my religious practices. I have to maintain my marriage duties. I have to maintain what the law says. So, what sprung this person into this, what are they maintaining? Because it may not be work in their eyes, but the same way this takes work, this takes work.
It does.
And some days when this person is like, it's too much, the human side of them is going to say, it's too much. They might be happy and comfortable, and this is just a human thing. So I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. I am saying if there's unresolved over here where I want to make sure I maintain what the parents taught me, what grandparents have been doing forever, what that generate, I have to maintain it. That's pressure. I have to maintain, I don't give a, and that comes with the element of pressure. to the point where I might go above and beyond to make sure I'm meeting all requirements, and I might go above and beyond to say fuck you. My question is, what's the breaking point and at what cost?
Right. That's
Point in case,
the question.
right. Now, people with attachment issues, or the people, because I don't want to label people and say, oh, there's something wrong with them. The people who've gotten tired. So let's say I've taken care of, but when I sit down, seems like there's not a soul there for me. When I'm injured, not a soul there for me. So I'm tired. But I say, the root stuff that I talk about. Have you really been tired in the last 5 years? Oh, no. Well, I've always been taking care of my siblings. Oh, wait. That's a little bit more time there. Well, no. I mean, even when I was a kid. Oh, so you're not as tired from the last 5 years as you are from the last 30. The exhaustion. So even if you say, I'm cool, there's possible wear and tear and exhaustion. And what is the cost? Possibly shorter life. Possibly. If you have kids, what's the cost? How much you pour into them, if you pour into them at all. Or are you now making promises? Whew. That's going to later impact the kids. And when people are like, that's messed up, I don't give a. So now we're just going a full circle. So believe it or not, both sides are pretty much equal when it comes to that. But I want to challenge the crowd here. I see no captivity with Freezy's in the house. What's up?
Hey, Freezy.
Hey, there he is. Good to see you, sir. Glad you're swinging through. We are talking about, and I didn't even catch it. I wouldn't be surprised if Freezy hasn't done a show on it. And when I look through some channels, it seems like that's the hot news, but it was 10 days ago, this Hassan person. The fear of unresolved trauma is what we're really going with tonight, and how it can come back to hurt people. And then the expectation of, man, I was injured. Can't you see that? The people who don't care, ouch. The people who don't know how to help you, ouch. The people who don't hear it the way you hear it or see it the way you see it, you put yourself in that predicament. I put myself, ouch. And what is the cost? So this guy is a famous YouTuber. He's going ballistic. I mean, he is enraged. There are going to be some fans to watch that and go, oh, that's a cost. If he loses endorsers, fans, followers.
That's another whack-a-mole or whatever.
Another whack-a-mole, another rejection, another betrayal, another loss.
That kind of stemmed from the first one.
Yes. I'm going to double down. Bleep them. I didn't need them in the first place. If you can't support me, if you can't stay with me when I'm up or down, screw them. That works well for attachment, betrayal. That works well, right? Cool. I didn't need them anyway if they didn't stay. Fair. Won't argue that. But that tally, where does that tally go? Where does the idea that I just lost some more people because they on some BS, they on whatever they are on, it is another whack-a-mole. And where does that go?
It stays there. In the psyche, pretty much.
People won't have to admit it, but that's when we start watching those 79 cents a day dog commercials in the arms.
Oh my gosh.
And the people are crying. I'm talking about some big, strong women who are like I ain't crying. Boom. Some big, strong, and I don't mean big as in size. I mean strong people as in fortitude and all that, and mentally. Boom. There's a person out there in the YouTube streets. She calls herself a maker.
Oh,
Strong.
Queen Maker.
Laughing at dudes. Laughing at men. I'm taking your women. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I'm not taking them. I'm not taking them. They coming to me on their own.
Wait, have you heard her story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk about trauma. Unresolved.
But remember,
trauma.
I'm
not diagnosing though, because I cannot diagnose.
I know we're not diagnosing, but I get what you're saying. The experiences that they talked about, the experiences that they shared, would say there's been some injury, and the hard and fast of I'm cool with it. I'm cool. That stuff doesn't even bother me anymore. Cool.
Okay.
Where did it go? And that's why if you catch all of their streams, you might also see the one where they're and so that's human. You are correct. That is human nature. Everyone does it.
Right, we expect that, yeah.
But the unresolved people, when they hit that low, they hit low. Again, I won't push back. It's part of human nature. But can we work so that one day we don't have to snap out? And sometimes even through the positive shows, that's really still their way of snapping out. If you listen to some of the some of the psyche. 1 minute is very astute professor-like and teaching. The next minute is, and another minute is, and then reset.
Can I hypothesize something?
Let's do.
And I don't
Lost
want
in
to
translations
judge.
in the building. What's up?
Hey, lost in translation. When, let's say because this individual does not, and this is not the only influencer, content creator, whatever, even people in academia do
Anyone.
this. They don't want to be debated. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want their views to be challenged. Do you think in this case, it's a possibility that when their views are challenged, it's as if their trauma is being challenged, or what happened to them is being challenged?
Let me put it in two perspectives. One, I'll give you my perspective. The story I told earlier about me being a mod and everyone coming at me, I said, shing. I say I'm built for the war. Now, all my comedy and cutesy and giggles and simp stuff. Shing! I say I'm ready for that psychological war.
Right.
There's certain wars that I pull a blade, they pull out a that I'm strategic enough to be like, I was just playing.
Right. Right.
That's a nice piece of steel, man. What may I see? Wow.
Right.
But what is the victory for me is the fact that I retreated, not them taking me out. So still a victory because I retreated. They didn't take me out.
Like the parent one.
Debates, like a parent.
Remember we talked about that earlier.
It's a win. It's a win for me. What kind of parent are you? The kind that gets. Sorry, you didn't get. It sounds like you didn't get that right. What? You letting your kid just say F you, F you, they're 4 years old. Isn't that a blessing?
I get to
Because you
call the
probably
shots.
couldn't say it until you were 44 years old.
Right. 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 Right.
So it's a small victory for me. However, there are times when the strategy is just simple strategy. And what I learned from the trauma actually helped to strengthen me. So the average person who didn't have this particular experience would have
Mm-hmm.
ran long ago, wouldn't have even joined the war.
Mm.
But because they had that whack-a-mole, if in martial art, if you keep hitting, like they punch the thing and they punch the thing, and after a while this becomes numb or whatever, or just callous, whatever, they can punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you have that kind of psychological numbness, you can actually you can go the distance more or greater or stronger than the person who doesn't have that same
Like a
experience.
sense of
We talk about
fortitude.
fortitude. We talk about it here. Trey, CBN, Black Men Unfiltered,
Mm-hmm.
certain experiences in life where they absolutely refused any of their loved ones to go through it, even if it means if they have to go,
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't see the danger. Like the person's like, well, no, maybe you shouldn't. In fact, move. You actually are more dangerous to me than the actual danger because you collapsed or you got soft or you got to move. And I don't see it now after the fact. When I turn around, I'm like, holy shit, I wiped out everybody. I did.
Right.
But in that element, so you might have content creators, makers, who their intent is to first find out information. What books have you read? So now I'm actually getting data here for I really know how smart you are or not.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know my angle.
Yeah.
Study
Your
you,
qualifiers.
study, right? Watch a few of your shows, watch your mannerisms, start matching personalities, learning some stuff. And now I have you pegged, so to speak, and I'm ready to go. And so, but I'm very selective. And everyone's like that.
Right.
I listen to Umar Johnson, Dr. Johnson, where he talks about, I've heard some of his shows where people are like, you should debate so and so. And it's like, that's my elder. You should debate so and so. They're not ready for me. So, so we all do it. I mean, I'm not
Right.
often in debates, but again, even me, I'm strategic and let's talk research. I mean, we start getting into numbers, and there are people who out research the heck out of me. I mean, I don't know how you out research someone, but there people could do that with their eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm in an environment where research is not their thing, I can go that route. Vice
Right.
versa. If I'm in an environment where the masses are X, Y, and Z, I'm out of my element. So to
Right.
answer the question, I think trauma can either empower, motivate, fuel, be the thing to get them going, or stronger. Let's change the word trauma. Certain life experiences,
Experience. Yeah.
childhood adverse experiences actually help to motivate me. Boom. And then there are some that will actually, I will feel paralyzed. There are people who have what they call on the job, they have what's called um, where they really don't know the imposter syndrome.
Mm.
All right, I just finished writing a 10-page report. Here comes the boss. Ooh, if you could just make this a period and this one a semicolon. Oh, and I don't even realize all the times I've been told I'm an idiot, all the times I've been told and I'm never going to make it, and all that just unresolved stuff kicks in. And now when I go to do to edit, all right. Ooh, hold on, let me check my Facebook. Oh shoot,
Instead of
2 hours.
feeling and people don't realize that this is what's happening. or that it's subconscious, but that they don't want to feel that because it's uncomfortable,
Yes.
of course. So they avoid it by getting on Facebook or whatever their right, the self-soothing thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
Continue though. That is
Not
so
even knowing,
true.
not even knowing, all
Right.
right, that, and it was just a period and a semicolon, and the waiting for the report to be back. Oh, let me check the Facebook real quick. Oh,
Right.
damn. Almost time to. Oh, I work best under pressure. Why is that? Why do you work best under pressure? Now, I may put it off out there. It's like, yeah, y'all weak. You know what? It takes a strong. When the pressure's on, that's when I'm at my. Uh-huh. And that might be true. That is true. Procrastination. Why? Why wait to the last second every time? Every time. And always a good excuse. No, see, the thing was, and I was, and all, and ooh, yeah, every time. Oh, shoot, I get this report. Hold on, Coach K. I got to get this period here and change this thing out. Oh, damn, it's time to go home. Tomorrow, all right, let's see. We got to get this report. Gotta get this report in. All right, get this first thing in the morning. All right. Yeah, open. There we go. Yeah, let me see this. Now, change to a period. Behind the scenes. Hmm. And before I even know it, well, let me eat something. Carbs, sugar, chemistry in the brain.
Yep. That's masking what you're feeling to get
Because
through that report or whatever it was. But what happens after you
feelings,
do that?
yeah, feelings department, feelings. Oh, we have an emergency. Oh, how convenient.
Right.
All right, we're about to do the report. All right, feelings, wake up. Hey, feelings. We got to deal with the fact that we put a period. That it might upset you. Huh? Oh, you going to check your Facebook? All right. Just, we'll be here.
Ah, they're still going to be there
Yeah.
because you're not talking to them. You're not figuring it
All right,
out.
fuck. I got to get this done, man. Y'all be bullshitting. I got to see. That's why I don't like talking to you, coach, because every time I do, then I run out of time. Then your ass gets to go home and I'm stuck here. I got to get this shit
Mm-hmm.
done. I got to get this shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Feelings. We gotta really pump it up. Come on, crank it up. Put some more coal in there. Let's get eat a Snickers. Hey man, tell him to get a Snickers bar. Sugar. Hey, get in the brain waves. Oh, fit.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm too. Whew. Go home tonight. Feelings. You's a bitch, man. You didn't even get your shit done, and you know, come this Friday, your boss is going to talk to you again.
Yep. They joined the party with the other ones. So now you got double the feelings. And you've gained weight, some more feelings.
Yes. And Coach K all in the same room,
Mm-hmm.
all in the size of a walnut,
Mm-hmm. Isn't that
size
crazy?
piece in your brain. All
Right.
these are in the same room. Hey, what's up, fatty? Oh, nothing much, Slim. You doing another Snickers? Nah, man, I know you keep complaining about your waistline, man. Right? Angry, what's up? Are y'all gonna get that report done by tomorrow? You know you're gonna get in trouble by the boss. We're working on it, man. Mind your business. Now, all of y'all just calm down. I'm about to take care of you right now.
Right. Yep.
My nightly routine. not even aware my morning routine before work, huh? Because feelings is like, all right, man, please get that report done. Please relax. Now, again, I don't put the two and two together. I'm not saying, oh, we got a report due. What I'm saying is this is medicine. This is medicine. This is medicine. This is
Mm-hmm.
medicine, 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 medicine for the dopamine
Yep.
rush
Right.
because of my imposter syndrome when I get to work.
Yep.
And some days I'm lucky if I even get to work on time.
This is so real, and you will notice this. If there's anything I've caught myself in the act before. Why I don't want to do my homework. I keep avoiding doing something, and then stay for a second. I'm like, what is it about this? What's going to come up, or what are you going to feel? What is it about this assignment or something? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what that lies the feelings and what the discomfort of what. And then it's funny too, because I'm like, that's a load of shit, like whatever, is gonna come
Right.
up at the time. But of course, especially when we're talking about trauma, like, yeah, you can't just say that's a
Mhm.
load of shit, but at least when it comes down to me just not wanting to do a paper or whatever, I don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
And we're going to outsmart ourselves, right? Charting tomorrow, but the group of feelings, the 3 to 11 shift of feelings before going to bed. Tomorrow, we start our weight loss program. Tomorrow, you're going to the gym, the 3 till 11 p.m. shift of feelings. We're going to the gym tomorrow. But the 7 to 3 p.m. shift comes back from yesterday. Oh. And when we wake up, all right, hitting that gym today. We just got in about 10 minutes ago. We just clocked in. What's going on? We're going to the
Right.
gym today. No more excuses. Oh, I mean, contact the fitness room and see what's going on over there. Feelings, what's up?
Right.
Hey, what's up? We're going to the gym today. We're going we're gonna hit some weights. We're gonna exercise. Eh, eh. Hey man,
Code
hey,
11.
don't you want to at least get a snack in or something because you want to build up some energy? Get us. There you go. Eat that bagel. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Give it a little few minutes. There you go.
You ain't
All
going to
right.
the gym now.
How's that feel? Yeah. Hey, sit down. Sit down. There you go.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, I ain't gonna make it to the gym. I gotta get to work. Oh no. We're not gonna work out. We're not gonna work. Oh.
And you did it again, so that connection is even stronger the next day. Oh, you did it again? Okay. What is that? The dendrites or whatever to make that synapse quick. Oh,
Right.
yep, this is happening. So this is very important. This is a
And those
routine.
synapses, I mean, they shoot quick. I mean, fast. Like I'm telling, my brain is saying to do this, but it's going 10 times faster than even my. So these things are just
Right.
pop, 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 and they're getting
Yep.
conditioned and hardwired. And now these become my real locked beliefs.
Yep.
So I know it's last kind of
So
minute
true.
here. Threw some invite up. At the same time, I want to be aware of our time for our engineers and stuff. Lost in Translation says he doesn't debate. All others I teach. And I agree when I watch Lost in Translation. Uh, very what I call strategic listening to what's being said. I joke, but I say he kills them with kindness. He kills them with uh, not poetry, let's say, but if you know about the wise mind, the DBT. So there's the emotional mind. Everything is driven from emotions, emotions, emotions. There's the logic mind. Everything is structured and safe and rules. And there's that perfect picture in the middle is where you want to get to that reasonable mind, not too emotional and not just 100% logical. And that's where I find
Mm-hmm.
lit often coming from that space where it soothes the emotional mind and makes sense to the logical mind. To where if you
That's
come in with,
perfect.
no, man, it has to be. No, no, listen. Now, the thing in the pathical and the listen to, I can't even mock them because I can't even do,
Really though,
but,
yeah.
and then the setting, the always his background and stuff and the shades and just smooth.
His
And,
voice
and
is
then,
very
yes, and that works as part of that whole package of how do I fight this? How do I, and he doesn't run from a fight. He's not, in fact, everything that he's ever needed to defend or protect or honor, he's shown up for. But it's their approach to where, and I'm not pathologic,
pathologize? Wait,
thank you,
is it
doctor.
pathologized?
Yeah, pathologize. Thank you. It's still the doctor there, but just some words. So
Compartmentalize. Oh, that
well,
one's
no,
usually tough. I've been working
pathologize.
on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
That
another
one's
word.
tough for me.
Yes, I'm getting better
Can
at
never
it.
get it.
Car. No, yeah. Come on.
Okay.
Pause.
Yeah.
Compartmentalize. Car. Stop.
Or like
Stop.
the
Giving me a
I
stupid
know.
moment here on the YouTube. Yeah.
No, I
Pat,
that one.
pathologize. Yeah.
Yeah,
To where lit is able to be himself, and in my opinion, and still show up because that's the thing. I'm showing up with my peace, and it's not even about a fight as much as it is about sense, like common sense makes sense. And here's the reality. And while I'm watching these two go at it, you ever see a chain or something like in the back of a car is going down the freeway and something is hitting the ground, sparking the ground like a chain? I think Lit sees the sparks that other people don't see. He sees the chain that's cling, 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 cling. Yeah. While you guys are arguing about that, I have a question I don't think anyone's even mentioned. What's up with the spark? What's up with the spark? So when I just say that, Lit, if you hear me, that is actually a praise to you. And then Coach K, when we talk about that strategy, so whatever has led Lit to that process, whatever led him to that ability, that's his strength. So whatever the reason was, through losses or wins, that's his strength. We all have our strengths. You have your strength. And sometimes some people actually regret their strengths and they play up to it, but they don't like that they have to play up to it. So women, and there are men too, but a lot of women who their strength may be beauty, but they don't want to be seen as just an object.
Right.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you were so. Thank you. Oh, you are. Thank you. Is that all you see? Reverse
That's
stereotype. If a man is using his strength, his muscles. Oh my gosh, you're so. Yeah. So other than painting the walls and cutting the grass, is there anything else I could do for you? Not really. So sense of purpose for all of us. Sense of purpose. So anyway, the thing was there. Trey. Trey's in the house. Pause.
I didn't even hear what you said. Was it? No, don't even say it. You're fine. But
for my pause, yeah. If you think about one more thing, I'd like to invite to this conversation. At the end of the day, people might be comfortable in their whatever. I want people to consider how many other connections you have outside of you that it might be impacting. So even though you're comfortable, you're sort of Hassan, at some point he was not only comfortable with what was going on with him, but the perception. So we have to be mindful of the perception of others. Like, what are they thinking about us? And how much do we get caught into that? Because we might go out of character. We might take the risk because of that perception. And it's not real. Like, why did you think that? No, because I know how people are. So I'm actually defending or defensive above my character in the name of, or I've backed down in the name of. You know what I mean? Couples where the partner said, why didn't you say anything? I didn't want to get you upset because you know how you, upset. So you let the person shortchange us and that? No, because you would have, and not before they even know it, they're going at each other because this person had backed down, thinking they were honoring, protecting, not wanting to get in the way.
Right. And then, for
Well,
example, that other person then thinks that's how that person is. Then it's like, well, I was doing that because I thought that that's what you wanted or that's what you liked. And
yes,
then it's all a facade.
you've established a certain thing with me and in my mind. That's who I expect. Cowering down doesn't do you any good. Doesn't do you any good for the relationship I have with you. But the person thinks that they're doing good by my bad. I didn't know my bad. And an apology only works so many times. My bad only works so many times. And then when people overcompensate, they might do too much. Now you're doing too much. You're doing the Salvation Army most good. Like, calm down. Well, I didn't want you to be mad at me. I didn't want you to, but still, that's still about the other person. I didn't want you. I thought you. So either way, it's a you. So even Hassan in the video is out there saying, I don't give a bleep about what any of you think about me. That's what he's yelling outward.
But is that true?
So you're throwing the bottle at me, which implies get out of here. But I'm staying. And I don't care what any of y'all say about me. Well, then after the second bottle, why didn't they pack up and leave? It could be out of honor. I came here for a mission. This is not going to scare me away. But again, we say these things, but are we actually realizing how much we're catering to these things? So some positives, if you have people in your life who can help you validate you. Validation. Validation is not problem solving. Validation is not solving a person's problems. Validation is not making an excuse for them. Not making an excuse for them. Validation is about, I hear you. That I hear what you're saying. So we're acknowledging some of these points, maybe even repeating word for word. So you did have a hard time. It sounds like you had a hard time. I hear you. Wow, that's an experience I've not had. It sounds exhausting. Now, a lot of that sounds fluff. You can make it as aggressive as you want. That's fucked up. See, so if that sounds exhausting or that's effed up, there's still however you want to present it. But the person feels, there's the feeling, right? Back to the feeling room. Hey, you guys, hold on. There's some understanding. Oh, because we were about to sound the alarms. We were about to.
Oh, we gotta animate this, man. Oh man, that's good.
No, man, I'm glad you figured that out. Woo.
Right.
Well, you're gonna get that period and semicolon. When you gonna work on? Oh, yeah.
Right.
All right, you ready? Let's do it. Oh, hold on. Before you do, just before. No shade. Just one thing before you do. Check your TikTok. Click. And then memo, email. I asked you a month ago for that report, and that sparks me to fine, done. All I ask is the cost. This person gets it done immediately. They don't really suffer from imposter syndrome. Healthy network of friends, family, love, whatever they have. Closed, alone, safe. Both have something that got them to where they are. In Hassan's case, he left the projects, became a better person, moved past the trauma that he experienced. Awesome. but it didn't go away. It didn't cure. Forgotten about? Sure. Healed? Sure. Prayed on? Sure. Supported in a positive way, like staying active, busy, exercising, healthy diet? Sure. Triggered by something else, the domino effect, boom, wake up. Overwhelmed, fear, anger, injustice, unfair. Y'all not listening to me. And I just want to give a warning. The society we are in now with this cancel culture, how many people are actually saying no one is listening to me? And they may be saying those words directly or not, but there are man after man after man that's feeling not listened to. There's woman after woman after woman saying, I'm not being listened to. Some of the certain age group feels like their body is what brings them the value. So maybe if I mention Dookie Brown and body parts, y'all like that. Oh, y'all like that? Perceived value. And there's always a customer out there for it, right? Oh, give me more, give me more. There you go, take off your clothes. There you go, shame yourself. Oh, there you go, humiliate yourself. Or show me your skill. Show me your talent. There you go. Comfort, and then we pass the comfort zone to regret. Time after time, you hear about people who, I don't know if I should have did that. And on the man's side, comfort zone to anger, explosion, regret.
Yep.
Coach, any questions? Any thoughts, comments?
No, that you definitely wrap this topic up and hits on so many crucial pieces that are just so prevalent. But either way, whether people want to recognize it or not, this is just a part of the brain. This is just human, like human nature, in the sense that this is how our brain functions, and it does not go away for those who have, experienced trauma. It's really sad, but I think you really illustrated it very well. So no, I cannot add anything. I think that was
cool.
That was good.
By chance, because I didn't set it up, I don't have the controls to set all that up. By chance, CBN, do you have that? Did I send you the 2-minute version, Coach? I said like different clips. One was like 1 minute. One is on his show, 25 minutes. There's one, and I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know the politics of the network with Antoine. There's Antoine did a version of it, and while what's this guy's name? He the guy, the image, the thumbnail. While he's going through one of Hassan, thank you. While he's going through one of his expressions, some of the content people who are doing a what's it called, a replay, a recap of a replay or whatever, they're laughing.
Yeah, review.
Yeah, review. Look at this. This guy's a clown.
Oh, I could link it. You want me to link it?
Sure. I just wanted to show like there's another piece. Either one, if the network is cool with it. I just want to show it doesn't have to be Antoine's, but I just want to show how some of the content people in the audience, fans, whatever you call it. Now, Hassan in the streets is not going to see that. But if you check it out, you'll actually see that he's responding to what people are writing. This is the one in the street. He's looking at the thing and saying, well, come on out then. I'm at so-and-so address. Come here now. Well, why is he saying that? Who's he talking to? There are people on his live stream that's like, shut up, bitch. Quit complaining. Get out of here. Be quiet. We don't want to hear what. So not only is he in his own battle, but based on these words and the way they land, no one calls me a B word. No one calls me a. That's adding fuel to it. And then if someone laughs at you, I mean, that's a major insult to some people. So I just wanted, I know we were ending, but I just wanted us to consider it's not always our own, like in our feelings and then in our feelings. It could be triggered by someone else's feelings that counter ours. So I don't feel listened to, but there might be a person who's listening, but they don't hear it or they don't respond the way that we hoped for. And that's a killer. If you don't know how to manage, if you don't know how to let go of things you can not control and have the courage to go on and deal with the things you can control. It's the whole AA saying.
Right.
If you don't know how to do that dance, you got some major problems. If you don't know how to do that dance, if you have partners who you are expecting them to fuel that for you, to provide that for you, and they can't or don't know or can't read your mind or don't know, yeah. If you were hoping to get that from work, now every time I come to work, y'all be playing too much. Like, I don't understand it. Like, y'all calm down. No, I'm calm. Spiking because, and there's a trap. And so like this video, when people are laughing, throwing bottles, that doubles, triples, quadruples his feeling of not feeling heard, acknowledged, validated, cared for, concerned. And what will it take for me to be heard? That's when we hear about the people at the malls. That's when we hear about the people at the schools. That's when we hear about the people at the churches. That's when we hear people at the postal jobs. Because they no longer are going to debate and argue and attempt to work hard to feel heard. They're going to do it their way. Some people say that's the weak way, that's the ussy way, that's the punk way, and it might be, but that's their way of saying, ha, I felt heard. And let them not get the news coverage for those who actually live through it.
Right.
Now it's just a big vicious cycle where I did all of that, another whack-a-mole, and still didn't feel heard.
And what I think adding to, because I experience this a lot, but we're not saying that these reactions or whatever people are doing, we're talking about people's behaviors or things that have happened. We're kind of explaining the root cause of why this person did what they did. We are not saying it is positive or negative, but if I can provide some perspective on why this person did what they did, that makes for a much more interesting conversation, but also gives people some understanding. So what can we do about it so that this doesn't happen? And the reason I'm saying this is because, we're not saying that, what they're doing is right to feel heard. But, if I ever give perspective on a woman doing something that's kind of crazy, for sure, like toxic, I think. But if I'm giving perspective on it, it's for a reason to, bring out the root cause. So I just wanted to add that for the audience.
You bet. And now, so outside of that person, are we matching their true root cause? That's one of the questions, like, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? But there's simple ways. I think I know, I was gonna say, I think I remember you saying, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that you're a bad person? Where's the evidence that you're being treated so and so and so? Like, where's the evidence? So even if we can't get to the root of it, you notice that you're starting to stack up these beliefs that you don't have receipts for, you don't have evidence to. Well, I just believe and I feel. But those feelings, again, how many relationships have they damaged because you didn't feel happy? You didn't feel what you believe you deserved. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You didn't talk about it. Or if you did talk about it, the other person ignored you, or the other person laughed at you, the other person called you names. That adds insult to injury.
Right.
And then if you look at the history, 9 out of 10 times when you got to that point of whatever this was going on, this has been your reaction. This has been your reaction. And how long have you been doing that? And so you remember the hint all my life. That's a big hint. People always, that's a big hint. So I agree with you. We're not here prescribing, and we're not here. I'm definitely hoping that people aren't taking away they are bad, wrong, have to change. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, we're inviting them to look at if you don't become aware, if you're not conscious, if you're not intentional, if you're not mindful, and if you're not careful, this can creep up on you unexpectedly. And you might have a response, a reaction. You might have a reaction that can end up costing you money, costing you position, costing you status, costing you in relationships, costing you time, energy, and life. So please become more aware of adverse childhood experiences that you may have had through seeing, experiencing, like physical, hearing. You know how many times you've heard your family member's story, and then we took that on like a passing on the torch.
Mm-hmm.
And please, no, mama, you ain't got never. I got it from here. No, you ain't never have to worry about. But these are experiences that
Mm-hmm.
rattle our belief in safety, and boom. All right. So I think that's one of the links that's been posted. If you guys want to check it out and catch us on the replay and post any comments you may have. Oh, that one is the Million show. And if you go to the 7th minute, if you go to the if you go to the 7th minute and the 747, 747, and just look at that picture. I mean, you can't see what I'm looking at, but just look 747. One is extreme anger, and the other one's a big, huge laugh. And you mix that combination, again, not from the screen, but from a person who believes that these bottles coming down at me, the people not listening to me, and this guy is having a full, from my professional assessment, this is a full explosive expression. This is a full explosiveness explosion of expressions. I didn't even say good, bad, or otherwise, but this is an explosive way of expressing himself. And then look at the cost that are being ignored. I call them yield signs that's just flying by, and stop signs that I'm just flying by. 7 in the morning in my old neighborhood where I believe I'm going to be heard, risking, hey, what's up? Risking my job or status, risking those who I might be offending or hurting because I need to be heard. I mean, look at the potential cost. Making threats, if you listen to the show, when you need to cut people, stab people, delete your mama, do whatever to you. So making public statements on digital fingerprints here. Look at the cost. Remember we were talking about that earlier? The cost from the two sides. The cost. Can you actually handle that? Jedi Mike, good to see you. Just before you get started, my experience is sometimes you come on with some great stories, but I've been meaning to catch up with you for the longest to tell you. I watch one of your shows, and you were on as a guest, and I was cracking up. And now I can't remember. But what you did was they said, I'm making something up, but they said something like, I'm just making something up. You stupid. Whatever they were talking about, they were like, stupid hoe. And then you were looking at the camera and no one was in the room, but you said, come back here, stupid hoe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was cracking.
By
And then
Dust,
no, it
it was
didn't,
funny on
no one
Dustin's
was,
show.
oh, yeah, but no one responded. Like no one caught it or laughed. So then you did it again just so smoothly. Anyway, I want you to know, I noticed if I ever remember the show again,
Oh yeah, you gotta find that.
it was on Mandrell's show. It was the
Oh,
We Are Back. We Are Back. Don't ever call it a comeback. And BMU was saying something about the maker. And he was talking about how somebody with like some milk sack brick something. Anyway, it was that show where I'll never forget. You were cracking me up. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. What's going on?
Doing
What's
good.
going on? What do you have to bring to the show? We don't have that long. I want to be respectful of Stan and Coach K. What do you have to offer?
Yeah, no, I just want to say that the topic of conversation is very important. Again, I just think that again we just gotta be mindful of that. Again, what putting online, that everything does have a record to show for and everything like that. Because especially I'm like I'm 25 years old, but it just turns usually my generation that we like to act before we think. And so in situations, so then for if we make a mistake, it's sometimes we're in the age right now where we have a digital footprint that for some 50 or 40 or 50-year-olds doesn't have that in our age. So therefore, we're actually more vulnerable to basically receive the karma in 10, 20 years from now, especially as you're seeing just how people just going left field has have a memory, of 30 years ago about something, and all of a sudden your entire career goes away. So I'm just saying that, especially for people my age, just don't take that risk.
Beautiful.
that is
Absolutely.
so true. Because you cannot. I was listening to a digital hacker. He was on a podcast. You cannot get rid of it ever. Once it's on the internet, it cannot go away.
Yeah. Digital imprint. Yes. I salute you, sir, for actually like, hey, my people, my generation, I appreciate all that we do, but please be careful the fact that you actually extended that out there. I salute you and thank you for that.
Jedi is very wise. Very wise.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Like I
Appreciate
said, when you're not being fun, even your humor is strategic. It's funny, but
Thank
very
you.
good stuff.
With purpose.
And thank you.
Everything I do
Thank
have purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we
Wishing you and your
appreciate you.
family well.
Yes, you
All
and Miss
All right.
Tamika.
Cool. Cool.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Jedi.
All right. You
You
too.
too, Jedi.
I love that. Thank you. I know that was short, but I love what he offered and appreciate the fact that he was able to speak to, hey, we have to be careful.
Oh yeah, that is so true. And I like the way you said it. We act before we think. Yeah, that goes right into all of this. So
So, Coach, I appreciate the conversation. Did you have any closing thoughts, comments?
no, but I don't want to add anything. This was just great. Oh, hey, Jay Speed. Hope you're doing well.
Jay Speed, what's
Good to
up?
see
Actually,
ya.
we were just on his show the other day. We were talking about some of the young folk and how do we help. And before someone says, oh, we're getting caught in ageism and you're mentioning age and all that, with the current generation, whatever you want to call that, age or generation, whatever, Jay Speed was talking about, hey, the reality is no matter how many people make mistakes, we did it, any generation did it, but what motivates people to change? Positive reinforcement, positive encouragement, positive things to look forward to. Someone saying, hey, I believe in you no matter how much I think that you're doing this or that. We believe in you and we have the support system in place. There are incentives for the good behavior, not like I'm assuming he wasn't talking about like a dangling a carrot, but more of like, hey, you're doing what you have to do. You're doing the good. You didn't add to the problem. You didn't add with a bunch of children and a bunch of chaos and all that. You're actually going to school. You're intentionally selecting when you're going to get married. Yes, the cost and benefit. How can we support that? You know,
Yeah.
are we talking
Yeah.
about housing? Are we talking about transportation? Are we talking about how can we support you? So if you haven't seen it yet, please check out J Speed. J Speed. I don't know your link if you want to drop it, but again, if you haven't heard that conversation, check it out. I think it was very interesting. Scam is there, CBN is there. I'm there, and I can't think of the other person's name. Now, at first I was caught off guard. I thought it was on Black Man's Network. He said, "Hey, we're live." And I'm like, "Oh," I jumped on. And then I felt like it was a survey. I'm like, "Whoa, what did I get into now? What's going on?" Yeah. What do you guys think about dick dodging? And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
no."
Yeah, so got points at least.
No, that part came up last, but it was a good conversation. I just got thrown off like, whoa, these are deep questions. Like this is like sit down at the table type questions. And so anything I could do to support you, brother, with getting that information out or investigating those things, here for it. So
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Is all that fried chicken to eat here, Lady Devoa? How are you doing? Cool. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you, CBN, for going the extra distance with us. Coach K, thank you for going
Yes,
the extra
thank you, Steve.
distance. I know we only normally do a couple of hours, but every blue moon we stretch it out. So thank you. I
Yeah,
hope the
yeah.
conversation was beneficial for those who were listening. There were no major solutions, but if you listen to what we were saying, hopefully you were able to take something away.
Yeah. I know I did.
Fabulous. Well, it's been an honor. Lady Navoa and
Yes.
Mods, thank you for doing what you do.
Yes, thank
CBN,
you.
thank you for doing what you do. BMU, thank you for allowing us on the network. And Coach K, always an honor to work
Likewise.
alongside of you. All right.
All
Peace.
right, we'll see ya. Bye.